It's Amal with AVNation with an AVNation special. The road to ISE, Integrated Systems Europe, comes your way the 10th through the 13th of May. And with me to talk about Peerless-AV's stand at ISE is my buddy, Mr. Nick Belcour from Peerless. Welcome, sir.
Afternoon, Tim. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. You and I get together in person, in real life, for the first time in a number of years. You are in Hall 3, F as in fantastic, 700, 3F 700. You guys have been doing some evolution and some new products over the pandemic, but now we get to show them off in a real way at ISE. So we walk into the Peerless-AV's booth. What are we going to find?
I want to accent the point that you just made, Tim. We're going to be live
Yes.
in person at a major event at an ISE. That's our first big foray back into Europe. As North American shows have been coming back online, you and I have been fortunate enough to chat about how privileged we are to be back in those venues. And I couldn't be more excited about our first Integrated Systems Europe together in a couple of years. We're investing really heavily globally in direct view LED, which is evident in a lot of what we're doing from a marketing and PR perspective. But from a product perspective, it's interesting because the industry is now catching on to the transition from large format display to direct view LED, and more people are throwing their hats in the ring for it. And what they're starting to understand is that the complexity of transferring from LFD to direct view LED is more significant than they had anticipated. And so the solutions that we offer to assist our customers in doing that are literally the most comprehensive in the industry. And so if you're looking to do something really easy, we've had that locked for a long time. But the centerpiece of our booth is a large, complicated direct view LED custom deployment. Because what we're finding is that increasingly, particularly as we've turned the reins of authority for these deployments back over to the creative elements, they are enamored with direct view LED because it's so less limited than LFD in terms of accomplishing thematically what it is that they want to do. And so they're no longer limited, and they are testing the bounds of physics, and we are happy for them to do it because it's something that we're doing exceptionally well and something that we're very excited to show the market at ISE.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the things that folks may not kind of grasp on what we're talking about here is you've got this, it's not quite new, but it's an evolving market where we're talking about, virtual production and XR and various elements here. And they're taking, the creative elements are stretching the limits of those direct view LEDs, but you guys on the backside, you need to be able to support that. How do we get the integrators, how do we get the dealers, kind of their heads and their engineering teams wrapped around what's possible, right? So yeah, there's limitations to the structure of the LED board, right? But then you guys have to come back and say, here's how we do this safely, here's how we do it properly, and here's how we have a successful deployment.
As is always the case, Tim, you're asking exactly the right question, right? And the answer is you defer that to people who are already doing it. So these are not skills that the engineering teams or design teams need to organically have from our customer base. They just have their creative come to us and say, this is what we are looking for. If you look at the design element that we did with our bespoke project from our seamless category for First Americans Museum, right? It's a really unbelievably cool deployment, but their creative was unflinching in the aesthetic, the window through the center of it, and the framing and size and shape of the direct view LED deployment, right? It's nothing that could be done other than in a fully customizable event. So all we need is their structural people to tell us, A, if we've got something to attach to, and if not, we kick that back to our structural people to make sure that the floor and the other elements can hold it. Otherwise, we're unlimited in what we can do, and that's why we want to show something so complex from our bespoke line at Integrated Systems Europe.
Absolutely. All right. You guys are in hall number 3, F as in Frank, 700, 3F 700. Nick, not everybody's going to ISE, which is unfortunate, but you and I will be there. But if they're not going and they want to follow along with everything that Peerless-AV will be showing at ISE, how do they do that?
We're going to have comprehensive marketing and press releases on all of this, and we're going to be looking to partners to help us. We're going to be capturing the spirit of our bespoke direct view LED mounting solutions, the new Microsoft approved hub systems, and our new size range for our extremes. So we will have the ability to have digital collateral available to people to access if they're not fortunate enough to be there with us live. And we'll make sure that we broadcast loud and wide where they can access that content.
All right, very good. Bill Hoare from Peerless-AV, thank you, sir. We'll see him. We'll see you if you follow along with us at AVNation.tv. That's AVNation.tv, the 10th through the 13th of May for Integrated Systems Europe 2022. All that and more at AVNation.tv. That's AVNation.tv.